So good morning, everyone. I'm Seema, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government Arts, Commerce and Post-Graduation College, Hassan, Karnataka. A warm welcome to all who have joined us for today's webinar. It is a privilege that Government Arts, Commerce and Post-Graduation College, Autonomous Hassan, affiliated to the University of Mysore, has organized this international webinar in association with Physical Education Foundation of India, Karnataka Chapter, on the topic Challenges in Training and Coaching of Sports and Games. Sport is a preserver of health. Sports are about those incredible moments where sheer human will and desire overcomes the odds, and these are the moments that we remember. Games are the pillar that is responsible for the integrity and durability of life. And today, we are going to ponder and reflect on the challenges in training and coaching of sports and games. A few instructions before we start off with the sessions. To improve the quality of the sound, I request everyone to mute themselves. If you have any questions about the presentation, you can type in the chat box so that we can attend to them at the end of the sessions. Now, I request our beloved Principal and Physical Education Director, Dr. T.R. Mahendra Kumar, to deliver the welcome and presidential address. Sir.
Good morning to one and all gathered here. On behalf of Government Arts College, Arts PG College, Autonomous Hassan, affiliated to Mysore University, I welcome you all this international webinar wholeheartedly. Since star shines in the night, some stars shine at the bright daylight. It is our pleasure to welcome on one such a star, Dr. G. Hemant Kumar, Vice Chancellor, University of Mysore. He is our chief guest today. International webinar, Challenges, Training and Coaching of Sports and Games. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and being a part of this webinar. Today we have a galaxy of speakers. Dr. Lim Boom Hui, Associate Professor, Center for Sports and Exercise Science, University of Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. With immense pleasure, I would like to welcome such an eminent personality as a resource person to deliver special talk on the day topic Challenges in Training and Coaching Sports and Games. I also welcome wholeheartedly Dr. Kishore C.K., Registrar, Mangalore University, and former Vice Chancellor and former Director of Physical Education, Mangalore University, in this international webinar. In this webinar, guest speakers also present here. One among the guest speakers, Dr. C. Krishna, former Director, Department of Physical Education, University of Mysore. I am proud to say this. He is such a dynamic and multifaceted personality. On behalf of our college, I welcome you, sir, in this webinar. I am happy to welcome Dr. P. Krishnaya, Director of Physical Education, University of Mysore, and Dr. Sri Venkatesh, Chairman, DOS in Physical Education, University of Mysore. Dr. Venkatesh is going to deliver keynote address in today's international webinar. Thank you for accepting our invitation, sir. I wish you very warm welcome to Sri Srikant, Special Officer, DCE, and Coordinator PPF FY Karnataka Chapter, to be a part of this special event. Thank you very much support and participation in this webinar. I also welcome staff members, administrative staff of our college in this webinar. I extend heartily welcome one and all once again to this international webinar. I hope that the delegates, participants of this international webinar will be enjoy the benefits of enriching their knowledge by interesting among themselves and with the resource person and the guest speakers of today's webinar. With this, I conclude my welcome address along with the presidential speech. Once again, thank you and welcome you for all the international webinars. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Anandal.
Thank you, sir. And now, may I request Dr. Hemant Kumar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Mysore, to please render the inaugural speech.
Hello, namaskara. I am very happy to be here for the inauguration of the international webinar, Challenges in Training and Coaching of Sports and Games, which is indeed a required topic of the day. So this has been organized by the Government Arts and Commerce College Autonomous Hassan, which is affiliated to our university, in collaboration of Physical Education Foundation India, that is PEFI. I am very happy to inaugurate this webinar on this occasion. Reputed academicians, physical educationists, students, sports lovers from all over the world, and special invitees and resource persons who are going to deliver what we call the special talk on this special event today. Totally, I wish the great success to all the participants in this seminar. This physical education and sports is a subject in a interdisciplinary nature, which always enriches with the development and allied science subjects for the benefit of the health and the fitness development. ಯಾರ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳ ಕೇಳು.
Sir, we request everybody to please mute themselves whenever the presentations are happening. Sir, I think
with
you
the
can start.
developments in allied science subjects for the benefit of the health and the fitness development. Physical education is the integral part of the total education process. It is a multidimensional nature, and also because of the interdisciplinary characteristics, it has been taken care by all other what we call subjects also. So in this field, it is a field of endeavor that it has an aim that overall development of the individual, like the development of the physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially, is a fit citizen through the medium of the physical activity. By keeping all this in the mind, the first time Mysore University has introduced the physical education as a subsidiary subject under the undergraduate from the academic year 2021. So it has been a successful event. It has been what we call given by our own teachers and Professor Krishna, who has been what we call initiated with this, and also our physical education director and physical education department. And we call we wanted to do this, but all the academic council and all others approved it, and we have already. I am proud to share that really it is an historical step taken by the University of Mysore in Karnataka State. So it is a role model to all other universities now. The physical education and sports science is being a subsidiary subject in undergraduate college, and it has been a wide range of opportunities in promoting the fitness, health, and recreation and wellness of the youth. So all other universities are getting inspired by the step taken by our university and putting a lot of effort to introduce the physical education and sports science as a curricula. Now, the national education policy is also what we call asking us to introduce, but already we have done it. We may give it in a special dimension in this occasion. And also, I am very thankful to the government staff members and the principal and the physical education director of Government Arts, Commerce and PG College Autonomous Hassan, and for giving me the opportunity in this international webinar, and I congratulate all the organizers for this thing. So University of Mysore is very happy to introduce the UG level compulsory subject along with the three subjects, Constitution of India, environmental science, and also the computer application. This will be also one of the course. Now we are finding out a way where to fit this course, and also today I called all my board of studies chairmen for what we call the discussion of NEP, because government is insisting to start NEP from this year itself. Therefore, we had to start, and we had to find a place for the sports and also the physical activity in this what we call NEP syllabus also. So I once again congratulate and thankful to all the organizers. I wish you all the best to all the participants and resource persons. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and words of encouragement. Now I request the guest speakers of this webinar, Dr. C. Krishna, former Director, Physical Education, University of Mysore, to say a few words on this occasion.
Thank you, madam. Am I audible? Am I audible, madam?
Yes, you are, sir.
Ellarigu namaskara. Good morning, everybody.
Matadi sir.
Good morning, everybody. Wishing you all the happy World Olympic Day. International webinar on challenges in training and coaching of sports and games jointly organized by the Government Arts Commerce Fiji Autonomous College Hassan and the Physical Education Foundation of India Karnataka Chapter. Honorable Vice Chancellor G. Hemant Kumar Sir, Dr. Limbonu, main speaker, Dr. C.K. Kishore Kumar, keynote speaker, Dr. T.R. Mahendra Kumar, Principal Physical Education Director and Organizing Secretary of this webinar, Dr. P. Krishnaya, Dr. C. Venkatesh, Dr. Somsekhar Desai, IQAC Coordinator, College Governing Council members, staff, students, and participants. The topic selected for webinar is very apt during the present pandemic situation and 2021 Tokyo Olympics ahead. Training is a tool to improve quality. Coaching is giving instructions to learn skills. The top 3 sports and training coaching challenges faced as per the rating of a research study are understanding individual athletes' personality and how to best motivate them. The second one, personal life balance, managing sport, career, home and social, etc. The third rating is team or squad dynamics and managing relationship with the team or squad. Lack of motivation is one of the biggest problems of engaging in sports and games. The main motivational factors are health pressures, enjoyment, physical fitness, stress management, well-being. The other essential challenges to be addressed are parents, society, sports authorities, media, government. I congratulate our University Vice Chancellor for having introduced our physical education and sports as a subsidiary subject from this academy. It's a very bold step taken by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor G. Hemant Kumar Sir. On behalf of all of our professional colleagues, I congratulate and thank him for having taken that much of initiation. I will conclude my speech expressing my displeasure about the apathy of Government of India shown in framing the National Education Policy 2020. And it is very conspicuous to note that there is absolutely no scope for sports and physical education in the higher education system. If this is the attitude of our governance, our country has to face the dire consequences of neglecting sports and physical education, which aims at the all-round development of human as well as the building the strong nation. Hence, I appeal all to my professional friends and office bearers of Physical Education Foundation of India to raise voice against the injustice showing to our profession in the NEP 2020 in the interest of, to safeguard the interest of our youth of our nation. And one more happy news I wanted to share on this occasion, that Delhi government has appointed Padma Shri Karnam Malleshwari as the first Vice Chancellor of Delhi Sports University. I congratulate her and wish her all the success. And I thank the organizers for having given me this opportunity to associate with a wonderful program. Today's topic is very apt to discuss and to listen. I thank Dr. Mahendra Kumar and all the authorities for having given me this opportunity. Thank you all. Jai Hind, Jai.
Thank you very much, sir. You certainly highlighted the problems which are prevailing now in this particular area. Now, may I request Dr. P. Krishnaya, Director, Physical Education, University of Mysore, to say a few words, please.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ PG ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಹಾಸನ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಆನ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೇಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳನ್ನ ಕೋರಿ, ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯದ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳಾದಂತ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಹೇಮಂತ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಲೇಷ್ಯಾದಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಲಿಂಬೂನ್ ಹುಯಿ ಅವರೇ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕಿಶೋರ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇ, ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ್ ಅವರೇ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವರೇ, ಸೋಮಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುವಂತ TR ಮಹೇಂದ್ರ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಈಗಾಗ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯದ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕೋಚಿಂಗು ತುಂಬಾ ಅಗತ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ದೈಹಿಕ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನ ಈಗಾಗ್ಲೇ ಎದುರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಟ್ಟವನ್ನ ಏರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕ್ರೀಡಾಪಟುವಿನ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್, ಮಾರಲ್, ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ನ ನಾವು ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾವು ತುಂಬಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾವು ಹೈಯರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಗುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳು ದೈಹಿಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರುಗಳಿಗೆ, ತರಬೇತುದಾರರಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದಂತ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ರೀಡಾಪಟುಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಅನುಕೂಲಗಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಾಗ್ಲಿ. ನನ್ಗೊಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಮಹೇಂದ್ರ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳನ್ನ ಕೋರಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Now I call upon Srimati Savita, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce and Management, to introduce Dr. C. Venkatesh, who will deliver the keynote address for today's webinar.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm very glad to introduce today's speaker, Dr. C. Venkatesh, Associate Professor and Chairman of Department of Studies in Physical Education and Sports Sciences, University of Mysore University. He was born in Mysore and got MPA in Bangalore University with a second rank. He secured PhD from the Bangalore University in 2007. As a player, he was the captain of MOU basketball team and represent MOU in athletics, basketball and handball. He worked as a basketball coach in Sports Authority of Karnataka, and he produced many national and international players. His trainees won All India Inter-University Women Basketball Championship for 2 consecutive years, that is 2003 and 4. And in the same year, his trainees Savita and Rashmi represent Indian in Junior Asian Basketball Championship. He successfully guided more than 12 doctoral candidates and delivered many resourceful talks in national and international conferences. Sir, on behalf of all the participants and organizing team and behalf of all the participants, I'm very glad to welcome you, sir. Welcome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Now I request Dr. C. Venkatesh to please deliver the keynote address. I request Dr. C.
Our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. G. Hemant Kumar sir, just now delivered the guest speech, and I would like to thank him for introducing this physical education subject in our university undergraduate colleges. It is a wonderful step taken by him, and there is an effort behind it. There are so many physical education directors are there in introducing this subject. And first I would like to appreciate and congratulate the Government Arts and Commerce Autonomous College, Hassan, and the Physical Education Foundation of India, PEFI, Karnataka, for jointly organizing this international webinar on challenges in training and coaching sports and games. And with permission of organizers and audience, I would like to speak few words about Dr. Mahendra Kumar, Principal of Government Arts and Commerce College, on this occasion. If I don't speak about him today, it will be unfair, and I don't feel it is not good. At present, Dr. Mahendra Kumar is a senior most physical education director in University of Mysore. Is going to attend superannuation this month end. There was a challenge in front of all the physical education directors all over India, that is becoming head or principal of the colleges. It was a challenge, but few people have achieved this one, and they have become the principal of these colleges. And Dr. Mahendra Kumar is one of the person who have become the principal of this college. On this occasion, on behalf of everyone, I appreciate him and congratulate him for being principal of the autonomous college. And one more person is Dr. Sadashiv Bhatt. There was so many colleges. He was also retired after becoming principal. Dr. Mahendra Kumar is in service for more than 35 years. He was very active, efficient, and a dynamic person. He was years from his college, and lot of players promoted sports by college, and represented University of Mysore, and he was the part of All Indian University Inter-University Gold winning Coco team, and he has encouraged a lot of sports people to take up the sports as their career. I wish him on this occasion a happy and successful, healthy retirement life in advance. Thank you, sir. Now coming to the point about today's seminar, the theme of webinar rightly selected by organizers at the present condition, Dr. Krishna sir said, when Olympics are approaching and there are so many tournaments are organized, and the players are facing so many problems in practicing and preparing for the competitions. In coaching and training, we sports fraternity, we all physical education teachers, coaches, and trainers are facing some basic problems from the beginning. They are like talent search, identification, how to train them, development, lack of facilities, and mainly how to build the career of the sports persons, and how to develop how to prepare them for the life was the biggest challenges in front of them. Even today, after sports career, what we have to do and what is the life of sports persons is a big questions. Because all national and international players they achieved in the sports, but they are unemployed. That is the biggest challenge for them, sports persons also. And as a coach or trainer or physical education teachers, how to bring them back to the ground, how to motivate them is the biggest challenge even at present condition. And these problems are there from the beginning. As their importance of sports raised, there is some important improvement in solving the problems in new education system or new sports policy. Indian government recently, they are encouraging sports people, and they are giving some opportunities or opportunities to participate to all the category of students, and there is an effort to bring the students to the sports field. But there is a major challenge for us in new education policy. Just now, Dr. Krishna sir said, in new education policy, there is no place for new sports, and we have to raise a voice against it. I am in agree with this statement, because few points are really we have to think about it, and we have to raise voice against it. In new policy, there is a provision for sports. So I gone through the new policy, in new education policy. Recently, one webinar was organized by Mangalore University. I hope Dr. Kishore Kumar is there in the line. He organized this webinar in a national webinar. There, Dr. Gaurish, and the chief consultant of drafting this national education policy, was the key resource person. He explained how the sports has been implemented in the new policy and what is the place of physical education and how we have to manage all these things. As per this new education policy, sports has a place in the new education policy. So at the school education or higher education, we need not to worry about our sports place of sports in education system. So here in new education policy, what they have done is the main of this new education policy. It is not only learning the subjects by the students. It is include other components, that is skill development, vocational skills, and physical education, etc. And one of the important part is this sports, music, art, etc. activities. Earlier, these activities were co-curricular or extracurricular activities. And one of the things we should be proud to be that these activities are included as a curricular activity, as main activities in the new education policy. That is a good step taken by this government. And here they made three, they have divided this education into three parts, that is school education, higher education. In school education, they made one primary education, school education, that is 1 to 8th standard, and secondary school education, that is 9 to 12th standard. So here, and after 12, it is higher education. And here, the main problem what we have to face is, we are conducting the tournament according to this PU, high school, and degree level. So according to this policy, in coming days, we have to change our pattern of conducting these competitions. So what we have to do is, again, we have to make this policy for this primary schools, that is 1 to 8 standard. There should be a separate organization and selection and conduct of competition. It will be there in future. And also for secondary education, school education, that is 9th to 12th. So PUC concept will gradually, it will go, and this high school, that is 9th to 12th standard, will come into implement. And there we physical education teachers, where they are working in high schools or where they have to go to PUC college, what they have to do is another problem in front of us. So, and the pattern of competition and training, and also the age category of the competitors, everything will vary from this aspect. So we have to prepare for that. There is a need for the organizers or government to take the proper preliminary steps to solve these problems. And another thing is what is there in new education policy is in teachers education, they did not mention about the physical education aspects. So Dr. Kishore Kumar also raised this issue at national level, and he wanted to bring it to notice to all the physical education teachers. And he also told me to give in your proposal from your university to raise your voice against this one, implementing this physical education as a one of the subject. What they are doing is, at the degree college, they are introducing 4-year integrated course for example, BA 4 years, BSc 4 years, like that, and they are introducing BSc, BA, B.Ed courses. So along with the degree, they come out with the B.Ed certificate, like with that one. So here in 4 years integrated B.Ed course also, they are separately introduced the B.Ed course also. There, physical education is one of the major subject. They have included it one of the major subject. So here, after finishing the B.Ed course, they are also eligible for this physical education teaching. So here our concern is, our fear is, so if they come out, these B.Ed people, if they come out with physical education marks cards with as a subject, our job is at what we say in problem. So that's the concern of all the physical education teachers in that teaching in that seminar. I heard the seminar speakers speech there. Chandrakumar sir also asked about this. Dr. Chandrakumar sir, our college professor, asked about this for clarification with Gaurish. What Gaurish has said that it is there as a subject, but physical education may include in future, we don't know, BPED 4 years integrated course may be implemented, and there is some process are there. And Dr. Asu and Dr. S.M. Prakash also spoke on this one. They all said that this is including physical education in B.Ed is good, but if it is practically, if they are about to going to teach our subject in schools, then it is a big problem for us. So for that, Chandrakumar sir clarified that there may be some progress in implementing physical education, 4 years physical education undergraduation program, that is BPED 4 years. It may include in future after 1 year. So it is we cannot say anything about that one at this stage. And what I want to highlight at this point is, we as a physical education fraternity would have to think twice, and we have to raise our voice to include to do our physical education subject as a major subject, and introduce degree in degree colleges, and introduce this 4-year integrated course in physical education also. So we have to join our hands to done this work. And moreover, as Dr. Kishore Kumar said, in future yoga will take our place. So before that, actually, under the physical education, yoga is a part, a subject where we teach it to our students and sports persons. And if yoga becomes a main part, then our physical profession is at stake. So what I want all the people, and there are main speakers are waiting to speak about it. Dr. Lin Boon from the Malaysia is there, and Somshekar from IQAC coordinator is there. Few people are there, and I want these people to discuss about this. And this is the main and present and clear problem at present we are facing. Other than this sports and coaching and games preparation and all, it will be go on if the government give more facilities to that, and it will be a good thing. And there are people are more aware than previous days that sports is very much required, and it is part and partial of our life. And where in new education policy, sports is also a main part. From high school, it is from primary school it is started till high school, and from 9th to 12th in NEP, new education policy, they give more scope for the sports, and it is a major subject also in that they have to study and pass all those subjects also. That is a wonderful thing. And but in higher education, where physical education and this yoga is in a controversy stage or in a complex stage, we have to come forward to bring our subject back to its fame and glory. And this is what I want to say on this occasion. And once again, if there is any discussion on this topic, I would like to share with our speakers, and I hope our speakers also will throw light on this topic on this occasion. So I once again thank the organizers and Dr. Mahendra Kumar and PAFI Karnataka Chapter people and our Vice Chancellor and Registrar people for this successful of this seminar and organizing this seminar. I thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity also. Thanks one and all. Over to organizers.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful views on challenges in training and coaching of sports and games. Now, I request Shri B.R. Ramesh, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce and Management, to please introduce the lead speaker or the chief speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Lim Boon Hoi.
Namaskara ellarigu. Good morning to all. Myself, Ramesh B.R., Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government Arts, Commerce and Postgraduate College, Autonomous Hassan. It's my pleasure to present a profile of today's lead speaker, Dr. Lim Boon Hoi, Associate Professor, Center of Sports Executive Sciences, University of Malaya, Malaysia. Dr. Lim obtained his first degree, master's degree and doctoral degree in sports science, majoring in sports coaching and psychology. He was appointed as a deputy chair of National Coaching Academy, Malaysia, and panel of instructor of the national coaching courses. He was the deputy of Sports Center during the year 2015 and 2016. He was the team psychologist of Malaysian sailing teams in SEA Games during the year 2005 and Asian Games during the year 2006. He is an expert of sports psychology, intervention mainly focusing on anxiety in sports and relaxation techniques. Currently, he is a member of various associations in Malaysia like MASPA and contributed number of articles in academic journals. This is up to you, sir. Once again, I welcome you, sir, on behalf of our esteemed institution, principal, faculty members, staff, and all the participants. Thank you, sir. Okay, over to you, madam.
Sir. Now it's time for a special talk of the day by the lead speaker, Dr. Lim Boon Hoi. I hope we are pronouncing your name right.
Yeah, exactly, correct. Perfect.
Thank you. Associate Professor, Center for Sport and Executive Sciences, University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Over to you, sir. You can start your talk and presentation now.
First of all, let's say thank you very much for the invitation and also the opportunity. So can you hear me?
Yes,
yeah?
we can.
Okay,
yes.
Can you see the slide now?
No, we are not seeing the slide. I think you'll be presenting.
No slide?
No, slide is not visible. We can see you, we can hear you.
Okay. Just now we try, no problem. Now we try again, then there's a problem.
Yes.
Never mind, I reopen again and
take your time,
okay.
sir.
First of all, I'd like to thank you very much for the organizer for this invitation. I'm happy to be here to share whatever topic given to me actually today. So can you see the slide now?
No, sir, we are not.
Can you see the slide now?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Like that? Yes?
Yeah.
All right, okay, thank you. So the topic is actually given to me like that, and then I was thinking what to change a little bit here. Then I would say, Dr. Krishnan said, no, this is the topic that we wanted you to talk. So I say, okay, no problem. So the challenges in training and coaching in sports and also the game, these are the topic, and then maybe I can say that maybe we should include the word of pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, but it's okay. I just talk on without pandemic. So if anybody want to keep in touch with me, please go. I just, have email is here, my WhatsApp number, my handphone number is here, and all that. My university logo is everything is here. So, all right, I will start straight away so that this topic actually, I'm going to talk about the content for today's presentation. The first thing that I want to talk is actually theoretical or ideally what should be a coach. All right. And of course, we are going to talk about, I'm going to present to you something like what are the research finding or what are the research, the survey they done in terms of coaching. And after that, the third part I'm going to present to you is actually on the practically practically that in reality, what the coaches have been doing, because I will present my case as an example, as me, as a coach before, so that to you, so that we share. So that I hope there will be more discussion today, because it's more kind of interesting in terms of like experience sharing session. All right, and also after that I'm going to move on a little bit on the quality of the great sport coach, and this is actually come from International Olympic Committee. They have been listed. Let's say you want to compete or want to be a good coach or to be a great coach, then they actually listed all this quality, enable everybody to follow. So that for your information, I think Olympic is the highest constitution. Like today is actually our Olympic Day. So I don't know whether did you celebrate Olympic, because in Malaysia we have quite a number of Olympic run today. So Olympic will be held in the 27th of July, this year. So it's actually about 1 month from now. Yeah. So these are the things that we want to talk about a little bit. And then after that, I'm going to share the third part is actually I'm going to share with you what are the challenges in training and coaching sports. And it's more on, as what I mentioned just now, it's more on experience sharing session. I'm going to talk to you because I personally, as a coach for these two events, it's like contradict. People say, hey, how come you can coach athletic at the same time you can coach swimming? Yes, I did that. Yeah, so that these are the things that I'm going to talk about. And before I go on, this is the presentation. This presentation is more on as a former athlete. I myself as a former athlete, so that I can talk to you based on experience and based on whatever the coaches experience and all that. It's much easier for us to understand. And also, currently I'm still active in terms of participating in all the running event or organized by the outsiders and all that. So that I'm going to show you that something. And as athletic coach and a swimming coach as well. So that these are the contradict things that people talking about. And actually I published a few more books in terms of like sport, in terms of in enhancing, in terms of coaches and all that. So that these are the things that, okay, this is number one photo that I'm going to show you is actually when we participate in the KL marathon run. So that these are the things. And also I publish, if anybody want to interested in the integrating of training methods in sports science and sports science disciplines to develop a champion sprinter, is actually we published the book in India as well, so that you actually can get it. The book India is much easier, and we have quite a number co-author from India as well, so that if you are interested, by all means, that you can actually get the book and then to develop the next champion in India as well. And also I'm actually teaching swimming, I'm also coaching swimming and all that. That's why water and land is both. Yeah, is called, people say, hybrid. So next, I'm going to, and also with that, I also published another book. We call it as a research book. It's actually on the 360-degree titanium core strength exercise. This book actually, I did it just curiosity because I was working with the hockey team as well, so that we want to strengthen the hockey teams and in terms of the core strength. That's why I wrote this book, and then we published as well too. And we conduct a lot of workshop to let people know about this 360 titanium core strength. I even bring to India as well. All right, and also for your information, I also as a chief editor for the coaching journal in Malaysia. So coaching journal, we actually have this, we have quite a number also articles from India as well when they write articles, so that if I look at the article, if the article meet a certain requirement of this coaching journal, so that I'll publish them into this what I call a journal. So, but this journal is actually circulated for Malaysian coaches. So that part of parcel is actually I'm helping all the coaches actually to tighten, to make sure that they keep up the information in terms of coaching. So these are the very important things like as a chief editor of coaching journal, I contributed a lot for all the coaches in terms of like bringing up the Malaysian standard in terms of sport in the international arena. And also, we publish also with all my co-author, we actually published another book called Sport Psychology. You also can find it in India because now I work very closely with most of the authors or professors in India, so that I publish a book in terms of sport psychology there as well. Yeah, and also other books, I actually published quite a number of books, about 10 books now. So all this book is actually written and actually published and all that, so that a new one, a few more coming up. So other books are based on the experience and all that, because as an athlete, as a coach, and then now as an academician, so that actually I can use all the experience to produce more book to share with all the coaches and all that. Yeah. And this presentation is also based on my own experiences as a coach as well. So that currently I'm still active in running. So I participated to triathlon. Maybe a lot of people dare not try triathlon, but I completed the 2 triathlon. So this is one of the triathlon in Port Dickson in Malaysia. So I participated, and also in terms of running and also cycling, I completed also duathlon. So these are the running event as well, but they are more versatile in terms of like experience with other event as well. And also other things like with my whole family is actually my family member. Before that was we are very active in terms of any event at night or a day, or in KL, in Kuala Lumpur or something like that. Because Kuala Lumpur is always active in terms of organizing this running event. That's why we never stop. This is all with my son, my daughters, and then of course my wife is actually accompany us as well. And then sometimes she participate as well. And then also these are the things that we completed. I think number. You talk about Kuala Lumpur marathon, 10K run, or even there's so many shot alarm, PJ, all that we participated, all the run in KL as well. Yeah, and also the most attractive me is actually when there's one organized in Sepang F1 circuit. That is running in the F1 track. That one is quite nice. I love it because they have it at night, so that it's actually you put on your headlight and you're running at night. That one is actually striking me and put a good memory there and all that. Yeah? All right. This presentation also based on my experience as a coach, as a qualified lifesaver. I'm actually a qualified life guide in terms of International Life Saving Society, and also I'm coaching a lot of lifeguard. But now they are due to COVID-19 pandemic, so a lot of this life-saving swimming is not allowed. So life-saving also not really required. So these are the things that I have to stop for a short while. As a swimming coach and a manager in university, so that this presentation also is actually based on as a swimming coach. I've been as a coach teaching swimming, at the same time coaching them. And as a coach, actually you spend a lot of time actually with the athlete. These are the things that I'm going to talk about later. Yeah. And you can see that when I conducted this, swimming lifeguard certificate and all that, this is a workshop, so that there actually quite a number of people participated. Yeah. And also as a swimming coach, since I took over as a University Malaya swimming coach, due to I spend a lot of time in terms of the evening coaching and all that. And sometimes if I got meeting, I cannot present, so that I just give them a schedule in terms of the training, schedule, so that they can do it. So you can see that all these my swimmers, I've been, the whole Malaysia, we have an inter-varsity university game, so that in terms of swimming, I think I already got a championship for 8 years. So I tell myself it's more than enough. So would some people to take over? So maybe now I concentrate on the academic instead of as a coach. Yeah, so that These are the things, because as a swimming coach also, you need to spend a lot of time, you need to be there, and then all these are university students and all that. So I will tell you what are the challenges that they face as a academician. Yeah. So also in this talk is actually I'm actually one of the panel for the National Coaching Council in Malaysia, so that we are the one actually prepare the coaching manual for all the coaches in Malaysia. So in coaching in Malaysia, we are so lucky that with this panel, we have quite a number of people, so that we actually come out with the coaching manual that whichever have a coaching note. So it consists of 9 topics, and then we have level 1, we have level 2, we have level 3, and then also continuous assessment and all that. So even we have after the level 3, they need to go for a Viva session, they need to prepare a small thesis, something like that. So that these are the things that I'm part and parcel of this National Coaching Council, preparing the athlete and also the coaches especially to the meet up certain level, you know, so that to provide more qualified and also knowledgeable kind of coaches in Malaysia. Yeah. So this is what. So this is another photo. Is actually these are the whole team in terms of we have actually appointed by the National Sport Institute to be heading this council. So we have frequently meeting and all that. Each of us have got different expertise in terms of, like, let's say we can start with the history. We can start with the anatomy, physiology. We have a biomechanic. We have expertise in what else? Nutrition. We have expertise in sport competency. We have expertise in strength and conditioning. We have sport psychology. We have sports medicine. So all these people is actually sit down together and have been identified by the National Sport Institute of Malaysia to be heading this panel. So that we are the one actually frequently have a workshop, and then we come up our own module, and then these are the module to train the coaches in Malaysia. So these are the things like what happened, what I'm currently doing. And then these are the things like all the coaches as a panel, we need to, teach or actually appointed as a speaker to talk about, discuss with them what are the modules, in terms of, like, let's say I'm more on in terms of sports psychology, so that I will be talking about sports psychology and then guiding the coaches and all that, how to implement the sports psychology skill into the training session and also during their competition. So these are the things what we did in Malaysia. This is currently when you talk about coaching, this is what I did. Yeah. And also that you talk about panels. These are another group of from East Malaysia. So all the coaches, this coach is actually gymnastics. There are so many for weightlifting and all that. So that there's organizers and all that. So that our job as a panel is actually go there and provide kind of training for them. Yeah. So these are the things that what we did. Also, due to my nature, after I quit as a teaching, I'm in the academic. I focus more on academic, and then I was seconded. I was borrowed by the National Sport Institute of Malaysia to provide the sports psychology services to the national athlete, and it become an applied sports psychologist. All right. So this thing is actually during that time, 2 years I was seconded. I leave the university. I go to the National Sport Institute, and then actually serving the national athlete. So 2 years I was seconded, and then with the sailing team, actually we managed to produce. These are the Asian Games 2006. Actually produced one bronze medal. So for your information, to gain or to get one medal in Asian Games is not that easy as well. I think all the Indians coaches, they agree with me. Don't talk about represent the country. Maybe in Asia it's quite very, very tough. And also that Asian game at the same time, because I was with sailing, so we managed to get one gold medal for sailing. So this is a gold medalist in terms of the girls actually produce a gold medal for us. So I was with them. I was as a sports psychology, also partly as a coach as well with them. So we in Malaysia, we separately in terms of the sports psychology, we only provide extra services to the athlete, and coaching is more on coaches who take care of the part, so that we have identified the role of each supporting staff, so that my job is actually with them is actually on the sports psychology. Okay? And in theoretically, that when you talk about coaching, the challenges and all that, theoretically, this is based on the International Olympic Committee. So that I'm going to present to you. They listed actually 10 quality as a great sport coach. So next time you want to be a coach, you need to be fulfill all that. The best is actually 10 to 10 lah. Yeah. So that we can talk about that. Maybe we can discuss about that later on more. I hope that there will be more discussion, more questions asked about this. And then you just ask yourself, maybe if you are doing coaching now, how many coaches able to fulfill or meet this quality? So because this IOC is the biggest umbrella for others, so they are the one actually listed, and then of course we need to follow IOC as well. Okay? So what are the 10 qualities of the coach that great sport coach according to ISC is actually? Number one is actually understand the sport and leads by example. So that the IOC make it very clear. If you are the coach, if you don't understand the sport well, people say well means you know in and out of the sport. They say you want to be a football coach. So you need to understand the in and out every single thing related to football. So what they say is actually the fundamental skills in advanced tactic, even advanced tactic, what are the strategy that you need to understand, have to experience playing, so that according to IOC also, if they say I want to coach football, if I'm a former football player and I got advantage. So according to IOC also they think that way. And also I also think that in terms of understanding and sports and lead by example is actually the coach must have a good plan, good preparation, and good rehearsal, good perform, compete, and also they listed that the coach must have some qualification. So just now the opening speech or the vice chancellors or maybe the director, they are talking about some qualification. Nowadays in Malaysia, because we realize that a lot of coaches, their academic qualification is quite low. So what happened is like we actually want to bring them up in terms of like we as a panel, we have to help them in terms of providing them some information about the latest changes, later advancement in terms of like, all the area in terms of in sports science. So that when they have a sports science, they can apply some new technique, new things, new sports science element into the training. So, for your information, most of the coaches, when they coach people and they don't give, they just tell the athlete, do that. But when the athlete confronted them, why I need to do that, they just cannot answer. So these are the things that, they say, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, those days we can produce a champion. Why now I need to change? So people say that these are the things that, some qualification is actually listed by the IOC as well. So means like qualification means like maybe they have certain level in terms of their understanding sports science, or maybe their sports specific game. They say in football they got level license C, license A, license B, and all that, so that people can understand better in terms of the sport. So IOC again get to know they list that because it's the biggest umbrella in terms of other sports. Yeah. So that number two. the spawns of knowledge and profound thinker and visionary. Means like if you want to be a coach, and I also think that the person must be, they are spawned. They mean they can absorb more and more new knowledge. So if let's say they always take about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, those days I can even produce, I'm a champion, so that they based on their own experience. I think most of the coaches are doing that. So based on their own experience, we can say that is actually updated. All right. So what happened is that IOC listed that is actually continue to learn and develop a new training techniques, because nowadays all day by day all the techniques have been evolved, coming up with a new technique, and then also very important thing is actually up to date and also inform new research. What are the new research finding and all that? When people, example, like people using contraband, hey, what is contraband? Maybe you never heard about that. These are the things that we talk about, in terms of like research, also in terms of training and everything, so that the most important for the coaches is actually up to date. And attending coaching clinic or camps, watching videos or reading books and studying periodically means like the coaches they are spawns of knowledge, means like they are willing to learn. So, but I think when I talk to people that you can go and ask your coach how many times they actually attending all this clinic. Later I'll show you from the research finding. Yeah. So that most of the coaches in Malaysia, because I'm one of the panel for the coaching council, I know most of the coaches in Malaysia, they always talk about that based on my experience, every time they say the same word again and again, but they didn't realize that the thing have been changed. Now everything is talking about technology. So these are the things that they don't realize. So other quality, share their knowledge, educate others, so that most of the coaches sometimes they don't do that. The most important thing, even IOC listed, being happy to try new things, means like the knowledge they have, maybe they try a new one. They cannot be, when they become a coach now, when they coach them 20-30 years ago, they still take the same technique or training method. I think it's outdated again. And different ideas, and to educate the athletes and to understand what they are doing and then why they are doing it, so that most of the coaches, they don't tell people why they need to do this kind of training. So most of the athletes is just follow the coach, don't ask. Don't question the coach. These are the things that I think in sport, if you don't question the coach, means like the coach doing something wrong, or maybe the outdated one, you still follow. And then maybe the athlete next time when they become coach, they also they pass down the same knowledge again and again. These are the things that I think most of the coaches are doing. So highly energized and also motivated. As a coach, IOC listed that a motivator with the positive attitude and also enthusiasm, and keeping the practice, it must be fun, must be fresh, and must be challenging and all that, so that giving the athlete some fun, very important, because as a coach you need to be energized. And then you cannot go to the training when you like going to die like that, and then you feel the sad and very tired face and all that. So because you are the motivator, as a coach is a motivator. So if you didn't show that you are motivated, how are you going to motivate other people as your athlete? Yeah. So that is number 4. Number 5 is know the athlete value and respect the relationship. So IOC also, they listed this is very important, because they say that coach sometimes they are not really know their athlete. What is the strength? What are the weaknesses of each athlete? They must know. So what they're talking about is the aware of individual differences, individualizing communications and motivation to specific athlete, paving attentions to the athlete's emotions, strength and weaknesses and all that. So that again, most of the things as a coach, we need to understand a little bit more insight about the athlete. If not, when they show a different kind of maybe in terms of the emotion, so we don't know actually what's going on with them. So that IOC found that the most important thing is actually we need to, as a coach, you need to understand and respect all the relationship between them. Yeah? And also number 6 is an effective communicator and also a teacher. Remember, I think most of you here are teachers. So that is actually communicate well and exude credibility, competence, respect, authority, acknowledging success, keeping everything simple and easy to understood. So that these are the communication skill that as a teacher you must have. Because I think most of the people say coach is a teacher actually. So you are teaching them something new. So you are the great teacher as well. So that IOC found that this is very important in terms as a coach. And is a good listener as well. As a coach also, sometimes you need to listen to the athlete, they complain this, they complain that, they give you a feedback on the coaching methods and all that. But sometimes as a coach, we just don't listen to it. Yeah? So that compensate ear and also should be welcome, and the athlete, the comment, question or input, be flexible, and then we use player feedback and all that. So most of the coaches, I don't think so they do that because they feel that athlete is still athlete. I'm a coach, listen to me, listen to what I say, so it is kind of just one way communication instead of two way. Yeah. And number 8, IOC also listed is the discipline, strong, and also in characters and also integrity. This is very important. When the athlete tell you something that you don't go spread the news with others and all the integrity is not there. And trust between athlete and the coach is paramount of importance, so that they next time they can talk to you. If you are the person is actually when the athlete can tell you something that you're going to spread the news around, and then next time the athlete don't believe on you anymore. Yeah. So the committed to the individual integrity, values, and personal growth and all that are very important, because all these are, the athletes are watching you. Later on, I'll talk to you who are actually, the stakeholder in sports as a coach. You need to understand your stakeholders. Yeah. And also that quality of the stakeholder listed by IOC is lead by example with a high attitude to hard work. So the most important thing IOC here is actually to the same rules, he or she aspect of the athlete, and one respect should be also show respect as well. So that we need to respect the athlete. Athlete also need to is actually both, and also display a commitment and also clear passion for the sport. So that if let's say you are coaching football but you don't like football, I think it's because then you actually not really committed to the sport. You don't have a kind of vision for the athlete as well. So the clear commitment to looking out for the best interest and then think of every possibility scenario means like the person is keep on want to gain more knowledge in terms of that sport, and that is what we call it the commitment. Then they can sacrifice. That is very, very important. So these are the 10 qualities as whichever they have been listed by the IOC. All right. So I just go on. And what happened to the research finding? This is the coach survey summary research by it's way back 2009, but it's still valid. I found it's still very valid. So the question asked them is actually the survey: in your role as a coach, how much formal leadership training development have you participated in during the past 2 years? We're talking about past 2 years. If you are the coach, just now IOC say what? you must be strong in terms of knowledge. You must be, understand the sport, not outdated. It should be updated. So all this. So can you imagine all the coaches that they did the survey is actually only 21% of the coaches reported less than 1 day. Can you imagine that?
Sir.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, would you like to move the slides, please? Would you like to move the slides? Because we are seeing only one slide in your
Serious?
presentation.
Alamak. Means that you can't see my slide at all.
No, we are just seeing only one slide. Up till now, we saw only one slide. That's why somebody requested also. Somebody missing.
Okay, that's why I asked you whether can you see the slide or not.
Yeah, only one slide.
Now?
Yeah, now it's changing. Now it's changing. Yes.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm talking to myself only.
No, we are hearing you.
Yeah. Now can see the moving?
Yes, we can.
All right. 21% coaches reported less than 1 day. Then they talk about updated the knowledge and all that, leadership development, all that. In 2 years, they say less than 1 year. Can you imagine that? 31% of the coaches reported between 2 to 4 days. 2 years, only 2 to 4 days. They attended all this development and coaching. And also 48% coaches reported more than 5 days. So I don't think so is enough. Like in Malaysia, we actually put a clause. All the coaches, they have a logbook, we call it in Malaysia. All the coaches have a logbook. Logbook means they have to attend all this development training or any other thing, courses or something like that. They need to go for 7 days of this kind of training. So the purpose of doing that is in Malaysia, we are the one who panel actually put the clause like that, so that all the coaches in Malaysia, they have a logbook. The logbook is actually to chart how many days, and then when they finish 1 day, and then the organizer will stamp for them. Okay, they completed these 2 days, 3 days, and all that. So they must have each in 1 year, they must have a 7 day. So can you see that from this survey, it's only 48% for less than 5 days? I think it's insufficient at all. All right. These are the things and also the research finding. A question asked to all the coaches: do you have coaching mentor or your own coaching call? You work with on the consistent or regular basis, means like their own coaching coach. The coach itself actually coaching themselves, and then something is to guide them. All right. Most of the time, in Malaysia, it's actually what we apply is actually we have different level. Let's say example, the level 1 is the lowest, the level 2, and then medium, intermediate, and then level 3 is actually the highest. So actually, we have a mentor-mentee kind of training to guide all these people. So that the research found that actually 51% of the coaches say no, they don't have a coaching mentor or coaching coach for them. So can you imagine 52% they don't have. All right. And also they found that actually 38% of the coaches say that they work with them monthly on the less. Means some of them they have their mentor, but only 38%, but they work with them in the monthly basis, maybe once a month, they go see them, or maybe they call them to find out what's going on, and then all the updating. And 17% coaches say that they work with them fortnightly or maybe more frequently. So that these are the things that are reported in the survey. They found these are the things that happen to all the coaches. All right. And also research finding, the most interesting thing is that I'm going to show you is that 79% of the coaches use the internet to search coaching advice, and also the way to improve their coaching on average of 7 times per month. So most of the coaches, they will prefer to sit in front of the laptop or computer, just search from the internet. But they didn't know whether that the information they obtain is right or wrong. Nobody knows. So they just follow whatever they provided in the internet blindly, without any question. If from the research finding, then it's okay. But in social media, especially social media in internet, a lot of people simply put something. Then you search on the internet, you thought that is correct, but maybe no research finding to support that kind of training methods and all that. So interesting, right? Yeah, these are things because they use what? Internet. So I think most of the coaches now in Malaysia also the same. You ask them when they tell, as a panel, we tell them to do their assignment. What they do is just a copy, paste, copy. So I even ask the coaches, I say, what do you learn? You only learn one thing, copy, paste. So these are the things that what I found working with the coaches and all that now. And then when taking on the new athlete, what method do you as a coach rely on to get a strong understanding of the athlete, so that most of the athlete they go to the coach and then they are new, so they ask the coach what are the methods that they use, and then 96% informal. So for your information, these research have been found that 96%. I mean, it should be a formal kind of chat in terms of informal kind of chat. So 96% is actually informal. So can you see that? So 59% meet with their phone, with their parents, with their family member, average 1 to 2 hours over the first few weeks. Maybe 59% they are quite okay. Now, so they call the parent, call the former coach or some family members to find out more about this athlete, if they got a new athlete in their team. So 37% formal interview. So I think this 37% should be more increased in terms of the number should be swapped with the informal. 96%, this is 30. So it should be the other way around. So these are the things that the research finding actually can tell us what exactly the coach doing. So these are the things that also they also found that 37% meet for the previous coach. We talk about previous coach, maybe they are from other team and then suddenly come into this team, and then the current coach maybe talk to the previous coach on average, but only 37%. It's not like even 60-70%. And 33% of the watch previous video footage and then their participation in their sport, and some of the coach actually take beyond that. So if you perform well in previous team, can you show me your video, like your performance and all that? They actually take some videos and then they show that. And then 30% athlete complete some form of psychological personality and behavior. I think for any kind of new athlete, when they come in to join your team, I think the most important thing is give them some questionnaire, and then maybe the psychological state of this athlete, maybe the personality athlete, and then at least behavior testing and all that, so that at least the coach now what is the current status of this psychological personality and also the behavior of this new athlete. So we can judge whether they are in what are the strengths and weaknesses in terms of that, so that I think research finding is so important. Yeah. So when taking a new athlete also, then 26% athlete complete a detailed questionnaire and device, only 26%. They should have more. Yeah, and 19% meet the phone and with other related people on the average of 2 hours or more than first few weeks. So you can see that the percentage of the coaches they don't take beyond that. It is still, the percentage is very, very low. Yeah. So that other than that, the 15% only, you have to a meal with a new athlete outside the normal training time, so that only 15% out of 100% of the coaches answer this question. No, I'm not going to help, taking lunch or dinner with the athlete, even though they are new. So only 15% do that. So 4% do you have media search or the new articles, so that when the question further asked, only 4%. Out of 100% of the coaches answer this survey, 4% only, they are thinking to get more new article. New article means mostly on the research finding. So can you imagine that our coaches and or the coaches whoever reply this survey is only 4%. So what? IOC say what? IOC say they understand the sport. You must be a spawn for knowledge. But only 4% is actually taking a new article. Something wrong somewhere. And it happened to all the coaches, mostly, I think 60-70% of the coaches in Malaysia. Those are, I'm talking about national level, representing Malaysia. This is the coaches I'm working with. And 67% is actually, you ask them how many articles you read this year, or even this year, whole year, none. So can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Then if you don't read an article, like whichever from the research, how going to enhance new knowledge? How going to improve your knowledge in terms of the coaching? So again, what they say, I can follow my coach those days. They can do that. I also can do that. But they don't understand the time change, right? Okay, now we move on in terms of practical. So that I want to bring you a situation whereby theoretical and also the research finding and also practically is that these three parties can be combined. All right. All right, based on my own experience as a coach, and then of course you talk about that. Later I explain to you this one more. As a coach from underdog to a champ, I'm going to explain it later more detail to you. Because it took me 3 years from the underdog to be a champ. When I was a teacher, as a physical education teacher, it took me 3 years to build this team to be a champion. So 3 years to build this champion in athletic. Athletic, you know that they got track event, they got few events, so that it's not that easy. It's actually, I'm the one person only that's actually handling this. That time I had 56 athletes, I still remember. Okay, need to know a bit about track event and a few event as well. So I'm a former runner, a sprinter, but I'm not the long distance runner. I'm not the thrower. I'm not a jumper. I'm not a high jumper or something like that. So that I don't know, but I read a lot about the sport. Yeah. So what happened is actually no extra salary and allowance when I'm doing coaching of this as a teacher. When you do a coaching of this athletic and nobody look after you, you survive by yourself. Because there is no extra allowance, there is no extra salary, and then most of the teachers, they say you're stupid, you better go and teach tuition, got extra income, but because of love, yeah? And no holiday, just learn to do it, just, sometimes Saturday, Sunday, or weekend that you actually spend the time with your athlete as well. And also no budget from the school for the first 3 years. Can you imagine that the school also quite picky because sport is still sport because the budget of academic and sport is so much vary. Sport is just a portion, small portion, but academic is the highest. Again, because school is still focused on education. It's not talking about this sport. Yeah, so the budget is very, very limited. So after obtaining the overall champion, the condition changed. Can you imagine that? We, as a coach, need to show them a result. With the result, they actually pour the money to you. So that you have to prove it to them. But it took 3 years. Yeah? And that time I was quite young and energetic. I can do that. But now I'm almost retired, so I don't think so I can do that anymore. So it's still bachelor during the time, and then also that time I just graduated from the college, and then posted to the school, and then no experience in terms of coaching. I was, as an athlete all the time, but this time you have to take a lead, and you can see that from this photo, maybe you can see maybe you also don't know, you cannot identify where am I, because a lot of people are telling, can you identify where are you? And then a lot of people cannot recognize where am I, because I'm almost similar to them in terms of age that time. Yeah. So a whole day in the school, because that time I spend day and maybe evening, morning I'll go to school because nowhere to go, so that that's the only place that you go, and then practically that this is what we are doing. So and in terms of as a coach, we need to understand who are our stakeholders. The stakeholder in coaching is of course we ourselves and other coaches as well. So we need to know all this, and of course, if you are the coach, you need to take care of the athlete. So the athlete is so important, because when I posted to the new school, and then the school, a lot of people don't know you and all that. How you going to start with the recruiting athlete and all that? That is the beauty in terms of how you promote that. Yeah, the athlete is very, very important for you as a coach. And also, don't forget that in the school or in the university, there is a stakeholder of parents. In the school, the parents, just don't look at the sport as a future. A lot of parents still got that conception that sport, there is no future for sport. Most of the parents are still have a wrong conception in terms of that. So you have to, as a coach, you need to actually explain to all the parents and to make them confident that the sport is got future. Yeah? And also the association and affiliation or sponsors and all that, so that the stakeholder, when they talk about stakeholder, they mean they have authority or have a power to interfere as a coach. So it is very important. And of course, the public and community. And then when you train in the school, there is a public watching you. There's a community, maybe the parents association and all that. They actually interview you as well. So these are the stakeholders in terms of coaching. Is not like you alone. You and the athlete is not. So a lot of people mistake that they thought it's only. And so many others and all that is actually related to the stakeholder. Of course, whoever sponsor in terms of the money and all that, that is also very, very important. Yeah. So these are the things that. So I just quickly go through in terms of the challenges in training and also coaching sport. That this is the key things take place in today's talk. Actually, I'm using my own experience, share with other people as well. As a coach, I'm using my coach perspective. It's not like now I'm an academician status, no, right? As a former athlete, giving advantage to me actually when I was coaching this athletic as a runner, so that I actually can coach them what to do. Yeah, and of course, I think a very important one, the knowledge in training and all that. When you want to train that sport, you must have a knowledge in terms of the training methods. What is the best training method? So again, when you talk about knowledge, it's always go to the 4 component. The 4 component is actually how to improve their physical, how to improve their technical, how to improve their tactical, and also how to improve their psychological. So in sports, these 4 knowledge we must have, right? So experiences grow, because for the first year when I posted to the school, and first year you still learning the system, you still recruiting athletes and all that, but you send the participant for competition, maybe you never maybe win 1 or 2 medals, but not many. But after that, you gain experiences, you grow, right? And then seeking for neat methods and training, so that every time that we go for, let's say, training and other, I even use those days using a lot of video tape to show it to the athlete, because I'm not expert in all the event in track and field, yeah? And also interest, the most important thing is actually you as a coach, like the challenges is actually you ask yourself, hey, no salary, no allowance, no extra pay, no. Can you do that? Or if you got paid, then it's a different story. If you got paid, even people can tell you what to do. But without pay, and it's a different story because I didn't get any single cent from you. Why you talk? You know? So that, again, this one lead to the next level is talking about amateur and professional. So that, of course, we talking about amateur means that we can advertise in all that, and then professional, and now there everybody, all the sports have been trying to move from amateur to the professional because demand from the fans. So you can see that EPL, it become professional. Everybody, athlete is actually, you can buy the athlete, you can buy the coach, you can buy a person. So can you imagine that it's actually, it become, of course, the standard of the play is much, much higher compared to amateur. So that in terms of the TV right, TV cover, media cover, everything is like more professional nowadays. Yeah. And also the coaching is actually an art and science, and all the challenges is actually very important. You can apply the sports science into the coaching, but you must use the art way. Because science is giving you, let's say, to improve your 60% maximum heart rate or something like that, that is science. But when you apply it, when you see the athlete cannot achieve 60%, why you still want to force them to achieve 60% on the spot? Maybe use the art, okay, flexible. Okay, now today we might, the art comes in. So it's not on the spot. It's like actually coaching is always science and art. Yeah. So a lot of people got a mistake that they always apply sports science and then straight away science say like that. No, I don't think so. So as a coach, as I mentioned just now, even just now, I also see this as a friend. You can see that, when I bring them for competition, and you have to bring them for food and all that, we eat lunch, dinner, everything together. So you are the coach. Actually, you are as a friend. So that all these athletes is actually some quite a number of them still keep in touch with me because as a friend, it's no longer that there is a big gap. You are the coach, so that I cannot close to you. So I think these are the things that are very important in terms of as a coach and all that. And juggle between training and academic. This is the most headache, most important things. Like I'm having all these swimmer in University of Malaya, and University of Malaya, all this I have here, all the swimmers. I think I got 2 medical doctor, 5 or 6 of them are engineering, and then the others are from business and account and all that. So can you imagine that this athlete? So how important for them, medical student and also engineering student, but they are all very successful. I can tell you that because at night I want them to come for training at least 2-3 nights. You cannot more than 48 hours of training and all that. So that you have to juggle between the academic and training. So you cannot push them as a coach. You say no. At least according to science, you must train at least 5 days or 6 days a week. And I don't think so. It won't happen. These are the things that because when the student as a student athlete, they come to university, and university will focus more on academic instead of this maybe co-curriculum or maybe call it sports performance. Yeah, because they think that sport performance cannot bring the athlete go for the next level, but academic at least the minimum qualification, so they can bring the athlete for the future. So these are the things that you talk about challenges in terms of the training and the coaching. Yeah, and in terms of the stakeholders, very important. When I coach secondary school athlete and all that, the parent used to ask, hey, why you need to train so many hours and all that? Then the school also, hey, I want you don't train them until so tired, and then they make them tired, they cannot concentrate in the study and all that. That is all the things they have been talking about. Yeah, and also the academic is very, very important in the school. Let's say especially in the secondary school, if they cannot clear the certain examination, they cannot move forward to the next level and all that. This is tough. So that, and of course in Malaysia, I think, I don't know in India, then in Malaysia we always, when you tell them to come for the training or something like that, at 4 o'clock in the evening or 4:30 in the evening, and all the parents, no, they need to go for tuition class and all that, so that they found that academic is more important than this training. Of course, and another thing is actually most of the parents, I got no transportation to send them go for training and all that, and also other expenses when they come for training. Maybe their parent need to provide some things, or maybe other things like in terms of drinks or other expenses are incurred that in terms of this training. So other than that, all these people, all the stakeholders are giving pressure as you are coaching this athlete. So these are the things that you can see that, my athlete actually, can you imagine that when we go for a broad competition away from my university? So this is the swimmer need to sleep, just like that, So these are the things that they do. If you think that you cannot sacrifice as what the athlete do, I think you better don't be a coach. All right. And also that the other perspective is that traveling expenses and competition, the bigger chunk is actually expenses, financial. So for me, the challenges is actually financial because we need to travel. With the athlete, that means the bus is needed, the bus. Without bus, you have to charter a bus. And also, at one time we are traveling to other state, then, it's too far, so we by flight. So can you imagine that, we need to get the budget for the flight tickets and everything, and then also the transportation. So this is, and then also the competition. During the competition, they need to put up the accommodation, every single thing. So all these are financial. So no money, no talk. Again, these are the challenges in terms of training as a coaching in the sports experience sharing session. Because sometimes you just, as a coach, you need to, come up with your own money and a lot of things that you need to pay by your own. Yeah. And also, don't forget that as a coach, also the equipment, facility, example, the track, the pool, the spike shoes, the swimming cap, and all the extra, maybe the attire as well, official attire and all that. So you need, can you see that during the opening ceremony, if I don't wear this kind of official attire, then people say, hey, your university is no standard. That kind of thing. So that you need to, and then all the teams, can you imagine all my swimmers, we need that kind of official kind of a t-shirt, official kind of attire in terms of like competition and all that. All right. So these are the things that the challenges that coaches face. We don't talk, this talk, I don't talk about pandemic, pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic is actually all closed down. There is no training at all. So the other things, the result of the competition expected from the stakeholder. Oh, this one, I think is the biggest challenge for all the coaches, because the result, the outcome of the competition. So again, I'm so lucky because I have all the swimmers with me. In terms of they carry out the training, and I've been 8 years overall champion, no problem. So that all the seniors and all the management trust me. So when I bring the team, they say, go ahead. So I've been bringing back so many challenge trophy and also the overall champion trophy, and the university is quite happy with that. And then also this is so many and all that, the others are so many 8 years, so many I so forgot. So again, when you go for competition, when the stakeholder pay you money or give all the expenses, they expected something. They expected you to provide a good result. Or the most important thing is maybe the university name, emerge overall champion in this, something like that. So that they want him. All right. So these are the challenges in terms of coaching, and expectation of the stakeholder is very important. Higher representation, higher the expectation. I think definitely you know that when you represent the district, not so, the expectation is not so high. Go to maybe state level is higher a little bit. Maybe go for national level, definitely its expectation is very, very high. Or maybe even now the amateur and the professional, they actually looking at the 100% kind of expectation is the result, like EPL now. English Premier League is like, if you buy the player with 20, 30 millions and then they cannot produce result at the end, they say thank you very much. Yeah. So, okay, other expectations as a coach, juggle between the personal and coaching matters. And then, okay, as a coach, sometimes you actually have to juggle between your personal activity and also the coaching matters with the athlete, because how much of time you're going to spend and all that. This is very, very important as well. And I would say that most of the challenges is the use of technology to assist the coaching nowadays. A lot of, I can see that even nowadays a lot of the coaches, they have meeting, they cannot go with the athlete and all that. They just give them a program, and then with the heart rate monitor, everything, they come back and just transfer everything, or maybe the smartwatch to monitor what is the heart rate movement. Everything is using technology nowadays. If you, as a coach, you don't keep up with all this technology, essentially, again, you are outdated. Okay? So I think my personal view as well as the IOC have been mentioned, hardworking is very important. If you don't be open heart for learning is very, very important. Good communication skill, I think that is very important. If the coach, they don't want to communicate, don't want to instruct the athlete what to do, don't tell them in a nice way, and of course they cannot be a good coach. Right? So willing to sacrifice time and then money and etc. So that as a coach, at the lower level, actually you have to spend a lot, sacrifice a lot of things. Yeah. But when they come at what you get is actually as a coach, I think satisfaction. That's the only thing that I can say, satisfaction. So other thing, can the coach meet the quality of what I just mentioned, 10 quality by listed by IOC? So is it similar, contradict, discrepancy between the theoretical and research finding and also the practical? So there is actually triangle there. Yeah. And these are the questions. Maybe later we can have more discussion and all that. As such, I can say that I will finish my talk with that. As such, as a coach, we need to have overcome all these challenges. I think keep up a good quality stated by IOC. So IOC already have this quality to be a good coach. So we trying to fulfill all the quality. If you can meet that quality, that means you definitely will be a good coach. A great coach is not. So I think the most important thing is, regardless of your coaching in lower level, middle level, or upper level, the most important thing is creative in coaching. So that you have to be creative. Because you need to have the knowledge. You can have everything that you have. Resources is insufficient. How creative you are to modify the resources to go for your coaching. And also the most important, a good performance of the athlete will be make us satisfied and also happy for sure. So when your athlete perform, in the certain level, they actually success, and then maybe bring back, glory to the university, glory to yourself. You are the one actually coaching them. I think definitely you feel satisfied and happy with that. And then the most important thing, myself and the coaches out there, you must love your sport. And that is a very, very important thing. If you don't like your sport, and most of the time you give up very, very soon. It's just by forcing. No way. So with that, I think I hand it over back to the organizer. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I think it will be open more question and answer. I think it will be much better. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. It was
a very vibrant, energetic, and motivational speech.
Yeah, thank you.
So much, like the importance of coordination, skill, having the right skill, and being in sync with technology, having communicative skills. It's a very demanding job. On personal life also. How satisfying has it been for you, sir? Being a coach, how satisfying has it been? Or has it been very demanding?
For myself, because when I was with the school level, because I'm quite new that time, as a secondary school teacher, and I posted to the new school and all that. So I just tell myself, can I set a target by 3 years? we can do something. But somehow I achieved my target by 3 years. And definitely what I can say is actually I push the athlete quite hard. But I can say I push the athlete quite hard. And even the parents, somehow the parents even come and see me over the weekend. They bring their kids, at the same time they stay back to see what I'm doing. As a young teacher at that time, 20 years, they also afraid of these hanky-panky things, but I always bring them to the field for training and all that, so that the parents actually stay back and then just to be there to watch me, what I'm doing, so that, I think it's quite challenging in terms of that.
What you say is passion is very important from the side of the athlete also and from the side of the coach also.
Yeah. Definitely. I think as a coach, I think in terms of after the training session, most of the time the coach will bring them for some tea or something like that. I think who paid? I think all the coaches know. Whoever coaching, they know. And then who paid? You think that you can claim from the school? You think that you can claim from the university? No way. They're not going to pay you all this. All the allowance. I was coaching the school level. There is no allowance at all, no extra salary. It's just by your own interest. That is a school level. Until today, I think all the Malaysian school, except the sports school. Not ordinary school, there is no extra pay or something like that, no allowance. So these are the things happen in Malaysia. I think maybe in India also almost the same. I don't know. Maybe some of them get paid. Yeah. Okay.
Now we are open to the query sessions, and I request Dr. Vanita, Associate Professor from the Department of Sociology, to take over the query session, please.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So I request the delegates, if you have any queries, please post on the chat box. That way we can refer to the chief speaker.
Dr. Vanita, can I interject a little bit?
Yes, sir.
You can see my t-shirt?
Yes, sir.
I purposely wear this t-shirt,
Yeah, it's very nice.
No, the t-shirt is actually now because due to COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay.
Now in Malaysia, there are a lot of people organize this virtual run.
Mm-hmm.
They give you register. There is no in physical run that you run by yourself, but the system actually can tell the organizer, you finish, let's say 10K, you run 10K, then the system actually the apps capture, and you have to send it to them that you prove that you completed 10K, and they will send you a certificate, you completed this run or something. So it's called virtual run. So you cannot run as a mass run, 10,000 people gather together. And during this pandemic time, so you can see that it's there now.
Sir, can you trace the differences between coaching in India and Malaysia?
I think coaching in India may be a little bit similar. Maybe I can say that Malaysia may be a little bit luxury, or maybe a little bit in terms of financially, in terms of support. Maybe I think it's much better than India a little bit. A lot of people in India, the coaches, when I ask them, I've been to India so many times, I think seven times in India, so that I mix around with all the coaches and all that. I know very well. So most of the coaches, especially those in the lower level, they also say the same thing. They don't get any allowance or any extra salary or something like that, except those really represent the country or something like that. Then is already in the program. Then that one maybe they are fully paid. That is different story. We are talking about maybe amateur level. It's not really come to the professional level. So in Malaysia, all these, some of the coaches are getting very good pay because we have a system whereby if they are sports science, they got the sports science level 1 and also sports specific level 1, they can get the license C, and we got license B. license A. The license higher, that means they got a higher pay. The government pay for them. Yeah.
Sir, what is your advice to improve our Indian?
I don't know. Maybe each country we have a different system. Of course, we are the British colonial as well, so we can use because in Malaysia we also trying to use the best system because we just as a coach in down there are so many coaches. We just couldn't control them. So that what we trying to do, we form we call it National Academy Coaching Academy. There's a national level coaching academy. These are the academy, we call it academy because we have a panel. Like just now I mentioned that I'm one of the panel. So we are the one actually how to certify all these coaches in Malaysia. They need to sit for, let's say, sports science level 1, sports science level 2, sports science level 3, and also sports specific level 1, level 2, level 3, and enable them to get certification. And then also, they are not talking about academic, they are talking about specific sport. So at the end, they'll, when they got the license A means that they can coach the national level. When they can coach the national level means that they are getting a good pay. So we actually helping the coaches to bring up the standard in terms of they don't, some of them they just don't have any single thing, and then suddenly they jump to their national athlete, national coaches, and their standard may be very, very low. So we are not doing that. We actually groom them, by stages like that. Yeah.
So what age do you start coaching the kids? Ideally.
Because when I was an athlete, I also followed my coach. My coach also doing kind of as a teacher. My coach also not a really sports people, but he loves sport, so he coached me. So I think he have been pass on the glory to me, something like that. So that when you train sports and actually you are a person is more versatile. You are more happy. You can go anywhere better than non-sport people. What I can say is a lot of research also done that when you involve in sport, you are totally different personality. So that you can see that a lot of the changes. So that for me, I started with the coaching because I think informed by my coach. Number one. Number two is actually I just love it. Those days I completed my college life, and then I posted to the school. And then as a young and energetic, you got nothing to do. You say, can I do something? Always the men are trying to do something. So I think from there I pick up and then I train an athlete, and then when you achieve certain level, let's say obtain the overall champion and then publicize in the newspaper, then you feel that, oh, I actually can do it, and then we keep on learning. I think that is very important things. And then I got my PhD and then start working in a university, and then again I say which sport like I want to take care now since I'm I want something like more because athletic is also during the time my university don't have a proper synthetic track yet. And then that's why I say no. I look for something like very permanent. And then I say my strength is actually I'm a swimming coach, so I pick up swimming. So I think swimming that time was not achieved what we have now. And then since I took over, I proper planned it, and then doing schedule in terms of training, and then plan for the training. That's why you can see that the athlete is so close, very close to me. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Any delegates? Do you have any queries?
Okay. Yeah. I thank both Dr. Lim Boon Hoy and Dr. Vanita for taking part in the query session.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And now it's time for vote of thanks to be proposed by Shrikant R. Shrikant R, Nodal Officer, DC and State Coordinator, Physical Education Foundation of India, Karnataka Chapter. So I request Shri Shrikant R to please propose vote of thanks.
Sorry, madam. I am Dr. Ravi Kumar giving vote of thanks on this occasion.
Okay.
In his absence.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone, to the one and all present here, respected guests, speakers, and all the participants. It is such an honor for me to get opportunity to thank you all dignitaries. We, on behalf of Autonomous Government Arts, Commerce, and PG College, Hassan, and Physical Education Foundation of India, Karnataka Chapter, I would like to express my gratitude to all esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this international webinar a great success. We extend our sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. G. Hemant Kumar, University of Mysore, for facilitating this opportunity to organize this event. It would not have been possible without your instigation of driving us forward and take up challenges as organizing this event. We truly are inspired by your persona. Thank you very much, sir. We would like to thank Dr. Lim Boon Hee, Associate Professor, Center for Sports and Exercise Science, University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Dr. eagerly addressed the gathering and shared his wide spectrum of knowledge. As a resource person of this webinar, he has elaborated about knowledge of coaching, behavior, communicating skills, coaching skills, and attitude required for the coaching and officiating, rules and regulations, and laws of sports and games. And also he emphasized on challenges are facing skills required by all of us to with present changes, advancement, reformation, and innovation, other conditions. And for gracing and extending support for the successful of this event, we would like to thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
We
sir.
also extend our sincere thanks to our senior most physical education, Dr. Kishore Kumar CK, Registrar, former Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University, and also Physical Education Director of Mangalore University, for his wide spectrum of knowledge about today's topic addressing the webinar. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Kishore, thank you. We extend our sincere thanks to Dr. Krishna, a great administrator, reformer in the field of physical education and sports, for being with us as a motivator and guest speaker on this occasion. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And also, I would like to thank Dr. C.R. Venkatesh, Chairman BOS in Physical Education and Sports Science, University of Mysore University, for his keynote address this webinar and focus on physical education sports as an optional subject at undergraduate and PG level in Karnataka. His speech was very motivating and encouraging to all the participants on this occasion. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We also extend our sincere thanks to Sri Mahendra Kumar, Principal, and also Organizing Secretary of this webinar, Sri Shrikant Fefi, Karnataka State Coordinator and Nodal Officer of Director of Collegiate Education in Karnataka, and IKC Coordinator of Hassan College, and also program coordinators of this webinar, Dr. Seema, Dr. Vanita Mohan, Sri Srinivas G, Nodal Officer, Director of Collegiate Education in Karnataka, Sri Muniraju, Mr. Joywin, technical team and committee members and supporting staff who is working tirelessly for the success of the event. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all. And I extend thanks to all the CDC members, faculty members, staff and student of this college. Thank you so much. I must thank the organizing team, volunteers for working hard for the past few days to make this webinar successful. I congratulate all the participants for their active participation. Thank you. everyone once again for making it great success. Namaskar.
Thank you, Ravi.
Participants, kindly note the feedback link will be shared in the chat box now. The feedback link will remain active till tomorrow. So kindly fill the feedback. Participants, kindly note the feedback link is shared in the chat box and it will remain active for 24 hours and it will be pinned in the comment section also.